the field with LeBron, and things have been a little testy. David West and Roy Hibbert complete that front line. Paul George Hill are at the guard. Miami will actually go with the same lineup for a second straight game. LeBron now averaging 31 points in this series. He's up front with Shane Battier and Rooney Kuriaf in the backcourt, Mario Chalmers and Dwayne Wade. The officiating crew, Derek Stafford, Jason Phillips, and Greg Willard. In Game 4, Indiana this past Saturday, the Heat coming back from 11 points down to beat the Pacers 101-93. And aside from LeBron, the major story, the bounce back from the worst playoff game of his career by Dwayne Wade. He's 2 of 13, only 5 points in Game 3. Battier. James Battier hits from downtown, and he has been struggling with that shot. 2 for 19 in the 4 games, and 2 of 12 from three-point line.
And that's huge for Miami, because the way Indiana has been guarding Miami, they're trying to pack the paint. The Heat have to get more perimeter shooting just to loosen up that defense.
Hill is wide open for 3, just to beat the shot clock. Pacers able to keep it alive. This is Granger. Danny Granger hits the 3.
Granger has made 23 three-pointers now in the playoffs. That's more than any other player playing at this point. And he hasn't been consistent with his shot overall percentage-wise, but he's gotten more and more aggressive as this series has gone on.
Oh, nice crossover by Wade, and he drew the foul.
Well, Mark, so much talk about Dwayne Wade throughout this series, particularly after games 2 and 3. But I thought what he responded with in Game 4 was his activity away from the ball. You see the numbers. In that Game 4 total, most of that damage came in the second half. He started out the game 1 for his first 8. But his activity away from the play improved dramatically. His weak side cutting, we saw Kenny show some of that in the pregame show. But just the overall activity, aggressiveness, and not catching and holding the ball so much, but really trying to be aggressive away from the basketball.
And he struggled at the foul line, just 2 of 6 in Game 4, despite the solid second half. 17 for 30 at the line of that first-round series against the Knicks. Tied at 3, just underway here in Miami. George Hill handling, played by Dwayne Wade. This is David West.
This is the matchup that Indiana must take advantage of. West going against the much smaller Battier.
They swing it, 1 on the shot clock. George with a step back for 3, just did get it off. Here's Wade with James down at the baseline. It goes to Chalmers. This is on the short pop. James gets it out. Battier with a long three-pointer. Shane Battier has come out and hit 2 from downtown.
Well, he was bound to come around sooner or later. Battier is too good of a shooter to continue that slump. And I think his defense last game really got him going. Did a terrific job on West.
West not able to hit. Kept alive by Hibbert. Then stripped. Here comes Chalmers. Goes to Wade. Sets it up. Intended for James, but broken up. Hill pushing it down. Whips it to the corner to Granger. Here is West. James. Met by the hustling George. And he's picked off, is looking for a pick and roll, but Kuriaf not looking.
You see the difference that Roy Hibbert makes defensively for Indiana. When he's in the paint, he really gives LeBron something to think about. He forces him to either pull up for a floater or make a pass.
Paul George cuts the Heat lead down to 1. Paul George named to the USA Select Team. The Select Team will practice against the U.S. Olympic team and preparing for the Olympics in London this summer. That's a great compliment to Paul George. Kuriaf off the nice pass. The setup from Chalmers.
Marv, it seems like Miami's half-court offense has just been so much sharper as LeBron forces a turnover from Granger. But I think since that Game 3 loss, the Heat realized they had to play faster. They had to play with more of a sense of urgency. And I think maybe they took this club for granted the first couple of games, but they are on edge now, and it's showing in their sense of activity on offense.
And the key is, and we've seen it at the start, that they have received support from others, with Battier opening by hitting those 2 3-point shots. Pass intended for Turiaf, but deflected away. Last touch by Hill of the Pacers.
Now Battier has knocked down a couple early. I thought he had the biggest play of Game 4. All the talk about LeBron and Wade, but Battier drew a charge from Roy Hibbert midway through the third quarter. That was Hibbert's 4th foul, and it changed the entire course of the game. It forced Hibbert to the bench. That loosened up that defense.
Here's Chalmers with the runner. Mario Chalmers, who had his best game in the loss in Game 3, and Paul George lost the dribble. Turnover by the Pacers. Chalmers called for a double dribble.
He's glaring at Dwayne Wade. He wanted Wade to make a backdoor cut, and when Wade did not cut, all of a sudden he pulled the ball back. But here was the floater a moment before, beautifully done up high over Roy Hibbert.
4 minutes gone by, and Miami in front 10-5. West, tough angle as Battier played him well. George. LeBron is on it. 2-on-1 with Wade. Goes all the way. Timeout called by Indiana head coach Frank Vogel. 6-0 run by the Heat. They have come out with a burst.
Well, this is the problem when you play Miami. Turnovers or long rebounds turn into a nightmare for your LeBron James. Dwayne Wade coming right at George Hill. Nothing he can do.
Opening up by hitting those 2 3-pointers. Udonis Haslem played only 7 minutes in the previous game. In Game 3, you could see the bandage over the eye as we have that shot of Haslem. West has missed his first 4 shots in the fourth quarter the other day, taking an offensive foul from Lou Amundsen as LeBron rims out. Haslem suffered a cut above his right eye and needed 9 stitches. They actually wanted him to come out immediately, but he said no. It's going to stay in. Nice move on the jump hook by Hibbert.
First basket for Hibbert. You just mentioned David West 0 for 4, so Indiana has yet to establish an inside presence, and as we talked about, Mark, that's the key to the game for this Pacer club.
Wade tried to split through and lost it. 3-on-1 led by George and broken up by Battier. Wade with that hesitation dribble.
What a lazy pass from Paul George. You have to convert on a 3-on-1.
Dwayne Wade does convert on the runner.
That was inexcusable. More of a 3-on-1 and a left-handed, one-handed pass from George off the dribble. And all he had to do was make a simple jump stop and feed his teammate on the wing.
Nice move by Hibbert, and he is fouled.
I mean, you just cannot do this in any game. And the problem was the spacing was not good between Hill and West. And when you turn the ball over against Miami, it's almost an automatic hoop. There's Wade taking advantage.
Foul committed by Turiaf. Joel Anthony getting set to come on. Hibbert a 71% free throw shooter, an all-star for the first time this season. Here is Anthony for Turiaf.
These are interesting numbers here. Hibbert has really been a factor in the first half of games, but the second half, the numbers in the playoffs have gone way down. Some of that is foul trouble. I think some of it may be fatigue. You know, all this help and recover on Wade and LeBron and pick and roll situations on the perimeter. It takes a lot out of a big guy.
Hibbert had that huge Game 3 of the 19 points, 18 rebounds, 5 blocked shots.
And the rebounds so key. In fact, Mark, whichever club has won the rebound battle in this series has won each game.
And on that subject, Joel Anthony able to keep it alive on that offensive board. Beautiful feed from LeBron James for Joel Anthony.
Beautiful feed is right. Did you see how high LeBron jumped? Looked like he was going to try to lay it in, and then when Hibbert went up, Anthony found the passing lane.
Hill met on a switch. West not able to get going. And a foul. It's on the Heat.
Look how athletic this is, just the explosion. And when Hibbert commits, Anthony does the right thing. That's so important for the big on that baseline to make himself available for the pass. And Anthony finding the right angle.
Foul committed by Dwayne Wade. Just under 5.5 remaining in this first quarter. Paul George puts it in play. Miami jumping in front 16-8 here in the early moments. Granger gets inside. Shot was blocked. Punched out. Here comes Chalmers. Hill is back, and Chalmers will pull it back. Battier feeling it for three. Yes! That's his third from downtown. Shane Battier coming in 2 of 12 from beyond that three-point line. And Steve, usually his specialty are from those short corners. He's hitting it from all angles.
Well, once you make a couple, they get a lot easier. So now Battier feeling it. In that angle three he's knocking down. What a great sign for the Heat, getting a lot of production from Battier.
Of what took place in game 4, particularly in the second half. 15 of the Heat's 19 points have come from others instead of James and Wade.
And you see the numbers for Battier, Marv. This reminds me a little bit of that Laker-Denver series. Remember, the Lakers for the first 6 games of that series could not buy a three-pointer. And finally in game 7, they broke loose, made 10 of them in that game. And I think that's kind of the tendency in some of these playoffs. The pressure mounts, you miss for a few games, and finally you let loose and you break free. That's what's happened with Battier.
Hill, good move off the dribble. Able to knock it down over Chalmers. It's a 19-10 lead for the Heat.
Indiana just has to withstand the storm here. You know, this is they had to know Miami was going to come out strong. So they've got to just keep it close here for the first quarter and stay within range.
Battier not able to hit on the runner. Shane Battier at the other end has done a good job defensively on David West. Gives away about, what, 25 pounds on West. Here's Hibbert. Hill able to rescue. They have a new shot clock.
A lot of very poor passes coming from the Pacers as Granger knocks down the three from the wing. So Frank Vogel has talked a lot about the importance of passing and ball movement. The ball movement is great, but it has to come on sharp passes. They're throwing a lot of one-hand flings that are really kind of disrupting the flow of their offense.
Danny Granger hit 4 three-pointers in Indianapolis in game number 4. Knocks down a 3 to bring the Pacers within 6.